Welcome to your Basic Pro Tools version 11 tutorial part 1. The first thing you want to do after you open the software is you're going to want to save it in a certain destination. For this purpose, we're just going to save it on the desktop. And make sure you name it something that you'll remember. In this case, I'll just call it Project 2. And then your screen opens up and you're able to start working. First thing we're going to do is import our audio. There are a couple different ways to do this. For the first part, we're just going to go to File, Import, Audio. We're going to find where it's located. It's on my flash drive. And then you can convert it, and also you can actually play it from the screen to double check it's the file you want. And then hit Done. And it's going to make sure the files are in the right spots. And then your audio is processing. There we go. And we're going to choose Clip List for this part. And it's just going to come to the side, right over here in the upper right. There it is. And then from here you can just drag it into your session and drop it. And there it is. There's our first track. Another way to do this is by going to File, Import, Audio, and then once again find it. Your track, mine is on my hard drive. Convert it, and hit Done. Open. It's processing once again. But in this case, instead of hitting Clip List, we're actually going to hit New Track. And it's going to import it directly into the session. And that's easier if you're only doing one or more. The clip list comes in handy. Now that we have our tracks imported, we can hear playback by simply hitting the spacebar and hitting the spacebar to stop playback. But since we have two tracks, let's go ahead and mute one. In order to do this, we're going to go over to the left and we're going to select the M, which stands for mute. And this allows us to only hear the track that is not muted. Another way to do this is by selecting the solo, which is the S, and that simply solos the track. These features come in handy when you have one or more tracks that you are working with at the same time. The next thing we can start talking about is deleting and trimming your tracks. And for this, you're going to need a special tool at the top, which is actually 3 tools at once. So if you go to the upper left-hand corner and select this bar that goes over all 3, it highlights all 3 hands, and then we can click the track and then simply drag it to where we want it and let go of the mouse, and we just trim the ending off of our clip. We're going to go ahead and just grab it and move it to the center, and then to split this track we're going to select it and hit Command E, and that'll split our track into 2, and then we can trim it again just to get an ending and a beginning, and just center that up. Alright, now let's talk about volume. One way to really control volume well is if you go over here and select waveform into volume, and then you can very distinctly control the volume in certain areas of your track. So the line equals our volume, and I'm going to drag it down, and that's going to alter our volume level. So it comes in normal, and then where I've made my dots, it is going to go down. Another way to do volume changes is this little button right here. You can lower and increase your volume. Another way to control your volume for your tracks, go ahead and go up to Window and Mix. This is your Mix window over here on the right, and it'll show you all your tracks. It'll show you the volume faders, the VU meters on the potentiometer, and you can just fade the volume to where it sounds good to you. And you can actually keep both of these windows open at the same time. Another way for playback is if you go down to the bottom left, there's this little box with stop, play, skip, record, and if you hit play, it'll also give you playback. And you might notice right now when we hit playback, it stops where the cursor started, and it'll keep playing back from that one spot. Now if you wanted to get rid of this, you can hit this button up here, and then when you stop playback, your cursor will stay where you stopped it. Play it a little bit, then you'll stop it, and your cursor will stay in the same spot. It's basically up to you and your editing preferences. But this concludes the part 1 of our Pro Tools version 11 tutorial. Thanks for watching.